It's 10 minutes now after 7. This is Breakfast Radio on Radio Al Ansar. As we get through the morning, these droplets, if you will, of good news filtering down to South Africans. Motorists feeling relief at the pumps. It's a welcomed relief at the pumps at midnight as the latest fuel price adjustment kicked in. So petrol prices have dropped by just over 2 rand a litre, while diesel sees an even bigger decrease of more than 3 rand a litre in wholesale prices. Illuminating paraffin is also coming down significantly, offering some relief for households and businesses that have been battling rising living costs. The South African Petroleum Retailers Association says while these decreases are certainly welcome, the broader economic picture remains under pressure. So, to find out more about that, live on Facebook, YouTube and Inside Your Radio, joining us on the program this morning, the National Chairperson of the South African Petroleum Retailers Association, Mr. Henry van der Merwe. Goeiemorgen and welcome.
Good morning, everybody. I must just say well done to the Colonel for 40 years of service. Well done.
It certainly is a feather in his cap. Tell us, the fuel price decrease will be welcomed by many South Africans. From SAPRA's perspective, how significant is this relief for consumers?
Yes, it is a significant relief because it's 2 rand a litre. You know, all the commuters, people are really struggling. We can see it. We can see our litres have dropped. The people are driving less. They're planning better. They're using other transport methods. So it's significant. It's unfortunately, I don't think we're going to see it immediately because the price is already there on everything, and now it has to reduce. And unfortunately, the history shows that nothing reduces immediately. The taxi fares doesn't go down immediately. The food doesn't become cheaper immediately, but at least it's there.
Now, SAPRA mentions that despite this relief, consumer confidence remains low. Why do you think many households still feel financially strained?
It's always got a backlog. The disposable income is much less. And, it's been going on for more than 3 months. And so, there's not an immediate recovery. We all know that. And we can see it in everything around us. It's just there, and it's become very expensive. People are really, really struggling.
The Slate Levy remains a major factor in the fuel price structure. Can you explain to our listeners what it is and how it affects motorists?
Well, the Slate Levy is there. We've only got a price adjustment once a month. So when there's an over-recovery, meaning that the oil companies paid less than we're buying the fuel for, we get a reduction. And if the fuel price goes up in a month and the oil companies are under recovering, we pay more for fuel. So it's more a stabilization fund than anything else. That's what it is. There's other levies and taxes which can be looked at and needs to be looked at. But at this stage, the stabilization of the price is just because it's done on a monthly basis. And remember, our fuel price is 100% regulated. What
are some of the biggest challenges currently facing petroleum retailers in the country?
Yeah, the biggest challenges is obviously costs. So for us to survive, we'll have to diversify. We'll have to have all different services, more quick service restaurants at one site, and everybody can't afford it and everybody hasn't got space for it. But that's the huge difficulty for us as retailers at this stage is costs. It's electricity costs, it's bank costs. Bank costs is a huge financial implication for us. It's really, really difficult.
You touched on this a little bit. Many filling stations are evolving beyond just fuel sales and into convenience and food retail. If you can expand further on how important this diversification has become for the sustainability in your sector.
It's become very important because, fuel is declining. There's no question. The cars are more economic. These electrical vehicles are coming in there. So, a lot of sites are putting in charging points. But if we don't get in customers, a lot of smaller sites might not make it. If you don't diversify, if you don't offer alternatives. We're seeing a lot of oil companies going into big brands like OK Foods and Checkers and even spas I've seen now. And so there's a lot of, we're doing Uber Foods as well at the filling stations just to diversify, because just fuel, we're not going to make it anymore.
Thank you very much for your time and information to our listeners this morning. We want to wish you a wonderful day ahead.
Thank you very much.
That was the national chairperson of the South African Petroleum Retailers Association, Henry van der Merwe, just expanding on what members of his association are, going through from a business point of view, and what they've got to do to maintain business and how they operate. And yes, loads of people are learning the use 1 centimeter of the accelerator rule for the most part. Loads of people are learning that, so you use less fuel.
Join us again tomorrow morning on TBR.